Khalil just made Manuel Gallegos quit in the rematch. And look, I think that fight's pretty bizarre if I'm being completely honest with you. I really do. I really do. I actually feel like the fight was pretty bizarre. You know, just the way that Gallegos just walked into the jab, didn't bother changing anything up. All Co needed was the jab to win the fight. All he needed was the timing in the jab. And Gallegos just wouldn't switch anything up at all. Gallegos then decided to quit in the fifth round after just walking to the jab. But Co broke Gallegos' nose with the jab badly busted him up. But it was a bizarre fight and kind of was, in my opinion, set up for Co to win. After the first fight, where Gallegos literally destroyed Co, dropped him 4 times, it was a very bizarre fight. And Co made all the changes. To be fair, he did make changes, but still, though, it was bizarre to see. It was very weird. And, Matchroom, they needed Co to win the fight because, overall he's been built up to be a big light heavyweight prospect. But I feel like it was a dodgy fight. I really do. The fact it was that easy for him to win and the fact that Gallegos decided to quit. Gallegos is Mexican. You don't see these kind of guys go out like that easy. You don't see these guys go out like that easy. And it was bizarre the way it was so easy for Khalil Co to beat him and just pick him apart with the one shot, which was the jab. Khalil Co, in that fight against Gallegos, didn't even need to use the backhand. Barely used the backhand. He just got so much success with that jab. And that is by far Co's best shot, and he didn't use it enough in the first fight. But what was Gallegos doing, though? He wasn't really throwing anything of note at all. Gallegos, Co's movement was very good and all. But I just feel like it was bizarre because it might have been set up for Gallegos just to be a moving punching bag in there, which he was. And I don't know. I'm not saying that, it's all fixed. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was a little bit bizarre to see how easy it was after that first fight and how Gallegos didn't have any IQ in there whatsoever. It was a very strange one. It was a very strange, bizarre fight. The fact that I'm not trying to jump to any conclusions or say, or bring in any accusations of it being fixed. I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm saying that it was a very bizarre way for the fight to end. It was a very bizarre way that the fight went. And it was strange how easy it was for Khalil Co to be fair. Fair play. He's going to be in the big picture now. The guy's very clearly got skill. I picked Gallegos to win. It was a pretty embarrassing pick for me in the end there, but I had my reasons to pick him. But then he goes on and puts up a stinker like that and didn't even the thing is, it didn't even look like Gallegos went in there to win. That's what I'm saying. It was bizarre because it didn't look like Gallegos went in there to win. It didn't really look like Gallegos wanted to win the fight. And that's what I think was strange. It might have been, the money got to his head and, everything with that life-changing win for him, with the life-changing money, getting another big main event against Khalil, getting a main event against Khalil Co, who's being built up to be one of the next big stars in America. And he just goes on and puts out a performance like that and quits. Again, he's Mexican. You don't see these guys quit. They don't have any quit in their blood. But Manuel Gallegos clearly does. Or, it is a bizarre fight or it is a strange fight. You've got to say there was something dodgy about that one. The way Khalil Co just suddenly dominated with the jab. And it's a very good jab that Khalil Co's got. And, I feel like it probably will one day be one of the best jabs in boxing. 100% it will be. I feel like he's got a fantastic jab. He was flicking out very nicely. But, it was very good to be able to lure Gallegos in. But, you think, though, surely that was going to get too predictable for Gallegos at some point, you'd think. because he wasn't really following up with much after the jab Khalil. It was either double jab, single jabs, triple jabs, not really following up with the backhand. There weren't really hooks thrown from Khalil. There weren't really any uppercuts thrown in there from Khalil. It was just, jab, 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 jab consistently. There was nothing else that Gallegos really needed to think about. All Gallegos needed to really think about was to be able to get out the way of that jab. But he wasn't able to do that, and that is because Ko was very smart with it. But I just think, did Gallegos even want to win that fight? It was a bizarre one. It was a very bizarre one. I don't even know if he wanted to win. I don't even know if he wanted to bloody be there. I don't know if he was paid to lose. I don't know. I don't know. But no matter what, I feel like it was a strange fight. But Ko's got to be given his props, though. Yeah, he has. He's a very talented fighter. He's a very talented boxer. He's got good movement overall. And again, the jab kind of reminds me of Jamal Charlo here and there. I feel like he's got, those kind of traits in his jab. I feel like he's a very good, talented fighter, Khalil Ko. But all I'm saying is I just feel like the fight was a bit off. It was a little bit dodgy. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Yeah, there we go.